right. Well, we just showed you the police intervening to disrupt the strike at the Queens warehouse. Now we're going to show you some direct action on Amazon's part against these striking workers. So these are 3 videos embedded in 3 tweets. For simplicity's sake, I just kind of mashed them all together. But to give credit where it's due, Teamsters Local 804, Breakthrough News, and John Molera put out these 3 videos that show Amazon flooding out the strike headquarters, so to speak, flooding out the strike tent, literally. This in frigid weather. In my neck of the woods, it was single digits today. You're talking about sub-freezing temperatures where they did this. So here's 3 videos cut into one.
Watch out.
So this is in Maspeth, this is in Queens, and look, it's where they got their food set up.
Frigid in New York.
Frigid.
Well, they just opened the sprinkler release, and we were just like, oh, here, because as you see, we're sitting down here. Like, I believe they did that because what we're doing is having an effect. So they're just, being petty right now. But that's not going to stop us. We're going to keep fighting. And honestly, that's a safety hazard. They shouldn't be doing something like that. All my 2 years here, I've never seen that open like that. So just, we're going to be out here fighting.
Well, here we are at the ULP strike against DBK4, against Amazon here. And Amazon is retaliating in absolutely an unlawful way here. They are breaking the law. I don't know what law they're breaking, but this is a law they're breaking, and it's going down into the 20s tonight. This is going to be a hazard on the street when it freezes up. They're doing this deliberately to try to disrupt our peaceful protest, our peaceful strike. We're just picketing according to the law. We have a right to do that. And here they are being obnoxious, absolutely breaking laws, and I hope somebody can serve them with the appropriate paperwork to sue these, whatever they are, up in Amazon for what they're doing right now.
Yeah, so not only are they flooding out the tented areas with the food and stuff, but what happens, well, like he says, when that water freezes and someone walking down the street that night slips and breaks their neck on the ice?
Yeah, that's going to be black ice when it freezes.
That's going to be black ice. Exactly. Well, that was at the Queens location. Staten Island workers at JFK 8, Chris Smalls' warehouse. Amazon workers at Staten Island join thousands on strike. So this was December 21st. So this was yesterday, reporting that they had joined them overnight. So more local Amazon workers walked off the job Saturday morning, this time on Staten Island. Workers at the JFK 8 warehouse in Bloomfield joined picket lines in solidarity with workers in Maspeth, Queens, and other locations around the country. It is all part of what the Teamsters Union says is the biggest ever strike against Amazon. The union said that momentum continues to mount as workers seek fair treatment from the online retailer. The action involves thousands of workers who are picketing in 4 states. The Amazon Teamsters movement grows bigger and stronger every day and will not be stopped, the International Brotherhood of Teamsters said in a statement posted on social media late Thursday. The JFK 8 warehouse is the second facility in New York City to join the picket line. So Talia Jane was out there, and I want to give shout-outs to Freedom News. They were out there. I know Status Quo was out there. Kudos to everyone who made it out there.
They've been out there every day.
Yeah, kudos to everyone who's out there, because it is cold in New York. Brutal. And you'll see the weather was a major factor here as well. So Talia Jane happening now. Amazon labor union workers and supporters are rallying outside JFK 8 on Staten Island ahead of a midnight strike due to Amazon refusing to come up to the bargaining table following a December 15th deadline. So this was 10:55 p.m. on the 20th, which would have been Friday night into Saturday. That's when they joined the walkout. Talia had a thread of, I think, about 5 or 6 videos. I mashed them all into one so you can see all of her work. Go follow her and really make sure that you follow everyone who is on the ground here, because not only is this really important work, but it's really hard work to do. in these temperatures, you'll see weather was certainly not their friend on Friday night into Saturday. So here's her footage.
What? New York is the union town, and they don't get no peace. If we don't get no concrete, then they don't get no peace. Then they don't get no peace. If we don't get no concrete, then they don't get no peace.
You can see that snow blowing in the winds, cold and windy.
Yeah. That was last night.
And you'll see what the cops do here too. They got the drone. I don't know if that's an alien or if that's Amazon's drone.
Yeah.
Okay, so now here the police come, and listen to what the police tell them.
Stay on the property, but if you don't work here, you have to get off the property or you're trespassing. Alright? Pretty much plain and simple. You got ID that shows you work for Amazon, just let us know you're free to protest, alright? If you don't work in the property, you trespass.
Sir, do you have? Let's go. You're gonna walk off. That's
We're gonna have to ask you to
leave.
leave.
All right, so please go. All right, do you favor. I don't want to get you jammed up. All right, let's go. All right,
Do you have ID on you? No, if you have that can work it, this is the cutoff was right there. I have to ask you to stand outside. Sir. I understand, but this is private property.
They're not letting
Yes,
people
you
with
understand?
trespass be
I don't
there?
make up the rules.
Nope, private property. Press or no press. Fuck you. This is Jeff Bezos' warehouse. It's his grounds. Nobody comes on here that he doesn't want on here. Once again, folks, this is capitalism. This is not corporatism. This is capitalism. It's his property. It's his building. You want to express solidarity with the workers? Fuck you. Get back there off the property. Do it out there. Don't do it here. Oh, you're press? You want to report on what's going on? Fuck you. This is our property. It's our building.
Free society,
Get off.
baby.
That's free society. Exactly. That's free society. They're the press. See? So now they're not allowed to get in there. They can't report on that. They can go across the street.
They're shooting from a distance.
Yeah.
We want it! Yeah! What do we want?
Unbelievable.
Folks, you gotta back up.
And he's still chasing them out.
He's still chasing.
What do we want?
They're across the street.
What do we want?
See, this is what sets us apart from China.
Yeah.
Right? We have freedom of the press. We have a tradition of open debate.
And we are unstoppable. Thank you very much for all of you coming and supporting their wonderful, noble cause. And God bless all of you.
All right. So you got workers out here in the freezing cold, wind and snow being pushed around by the cops, reporters being pushed around by the cops. All they want is a dignified life as a blue-collar worker. That's all they want. That's all they want. And look at the hell you have to go through. You get rousted by the cops. You get flooded out by the warehouse. Then you go to organize on the grounds, and the cops say, no, break it up. Unless you work here, show your ID. If you don't work here, go across the street. Look at what they're going through in the freezing fucking cold and wind just to try and get some fucking dignity. And then look at where the boss is at. Professor Kiss, Donald Trump dines with Jeff Bezos on the eve of the Amazon strike 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago. Neither of these corporate-owned parties is on the side of the American workers. Damn right, Professor. Here they are.
To be fair, I hear she cost him a pretty penny.
Yeah. Well, there was a report that he was going to marry her at a $600 million wedding, but he said
Like
not
Pretty
true.
Woman.
He says it's made up. Exactly. Washington Post, his own outlet, reports Jeff Bezos and Donald Trump meet for dinner at Mar-a-Lago, joined by Elon Musk. President-elect Donald Trump had dinner Wednesday with Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post. Yes, thank you for that. Full disclosure. At Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, and the two were joined by billionaire Elon Musk, a Trump transition team spokesperson confirmed. The meeting marks the latest trek by tech executives to Trump's home in South Florida to appeal to the incoming administration, including Silicon Valley titans who spurned Trump in his last term. Musk has been a frequent presence at Trump's side, advising the president-elect on federal spending and tech policies. After feuds during Trump's first term, Trump and Bezos have both noted their recent evolving relationship. Trump told reporters Monday that he has noticed that tech executives are friendlier to him. One of the big differences between the first term, in the first term everybody was fighting me, Trump said. In this term, everybody wants to be my friends. Yes, everybody wants to be your friend. Now, the way a lot of the media is reporting this is that Elon crashed Trump's Jeff Bezos dinner at Mar-a-Lago, mocked as deranged. The jealousy bone might appear to have bitten Elon Musk Wednesday as he reportedly crashed the widely publicized dinner between President-elect Donald Trump and Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos. Trump's Mar-a-Lago hosted the dinner for the politician and billionaire, but the two didn't have privacy for long before Musk appeared. According to the New York Times, the ex-CEO was not initially expected to be part of the dinner, but joined as it was underway.
This is like a Harlequin romance for people with a really weird fetish.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes, exactly. Reactions online to the apparent power move were swift and cutting, with late-night hosts and social media commentators mocking Musk as deranged and creepy, among other unflattering conclusions. The tech mogul was dragged up and down, with many saying it seemed like he was worried about his ongoing bromance with the president-elect. This 2-week bromance is going to fall apart more spectacularly than any in history, journalist and author Seth Abramson wrote on Blue Sky. Elon Musk is so deranged and creepy and such a clueless stalker that he actually crashed a private dinner between Donald Trump and Musk rival Jeff Bezos. I can't imagine how livid that made both Trump and Bezos. See all of the soap opera bullshit? Yeah. All of the soap opera bullshit to try and make it look like, these are actual, rivals, right? He continued his post. What it also confirms is that Musk not only has no boundaries and believes himself Trump's superior, but has no intention of permitting any other plutocrat to squeeze more juice out of Trump than him. Showing up at that dinner uninvited is a power play intended to cow both other oligarchs and Trump. Musk's choice to crash Trump and Bezos' meal was a dinner bell to the various late-night hosts out there as well. Just about every single one of them had a joke or two to crack at Musk's expense this week, with Seth Meyers warning Trump he got cable guide, a reference to the 1996 Jim Carrey stalker comedy. So, unfortunately, we can't show you any of those videos because they will all copyright claim us. But, yeah, there was a lot of hay made out of wow, the rivalry between Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and how Elon's ego has been injured and threatened by Jeff Bezos. And we got into this a little bit in the last time we actually talked about this, this perception that, well, Jeff Bezos is trying to horn in on our club by infiltrating the dinner, and Elon went and cockblocked him, and isn't that great? Well, this will give you some insight into just how at each other's throats they are. This is reporting from November 19th of this year, just 1 month ago. Elon Musk's SpaceX and Jeff Bezos' Amazon agree on something. They're both suing the National Labor Relations Board, claiming it's unconstitutional. Yes, that's correct. Attorneys for Amazon and Elon Musk's SpaceX argued in a federal appeals court Monday that the National Labor Relations Board's structure is unconstitutional, advancing a legal fight that may last into the Trump administration, where Musk is expected to oversee bureaucratic cost-cutting. A panel of 3 judges at the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans heard separate oral arguments in the SpaceX and Amazon lawsuits, which the 2 companies initiated after the labor agency filed complaints against them in disputes about workers' rights and union organizing. A ruling in favor of the companies could immensely diminish or paralyze the nearly century-old agency, which is tasked with enforcing labor laws and settling labor-related complaints workers lodge against their employers. The issue may eventually reach the U.S. Supreme Court, which has a conservative majority and has issued rulings curbing the power of government agencies. SpaceX, Musk's space technology company, filed its lawsuit against the NLRB in January after the labor agency accused the company of unlawfully firing employees who wrote an open letter critical of Musk and of creating the impression worker activities were being surveilled. Among other claims, the company argued in its complaint that agency proceedings deprived it of the right to a trial by jury. Musk, the world's richest person, has become more influential in the past few months after pumping an estimated $200 million through his PAC to help elect Donald Trump as president. Amazon's lawsuit against the NLRB is tied to the company's objections to a union election that took place at a warehouse in New York City in April of 2022. The retail giant has accused the agency of improperly interfering in that election, partly by bringing a lawsuit against the company to reinstate a fired organizer close to when voting began. The Amazon labor union ultimately won the election to represent workers, but Amazon has refused to come to the negotiating table. So you see, that is why Elon and Bezos and Trump dined at Mar-a-Lago. They are not rivals. They are not at each other's throats. You are their rivals. You know what I bet they talked about a little bit at that meal the other night? This. I bet they all talked about their lawsuits against the NLRB, since they have that in common. They're both fighting the NLRB at the same time. You know what I bet was much less likely to have come up? The woke mind virus. I bet they didn't mention that very much. I bet they didn't talk a whole lot about who pisses in what bathroom. I bet they hardly mentioned that at all. I think they talked about this lawsuit. I think this came up. And the soap opera around this, the coverage of this, is to get you to believe that they're rivals, that they're at each other's throats in the gamesmanship of this. It's a distraction. They want you to think, me no like woke mind virus, me like Elon. Elon, my billionaire. Bezos, woke billionaire. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think.
Well, this is like the peasants speculating on the doings at the court of Versailles. Oh, I heard that there was quite a tiff between Lord Bezos and Lord Musk. They both showed up at the king's dinner, but only Jeff was invited. That's what this is. It's and for people to think. I mean, just look at this. They claim that they're anti-war, and yet they are telling you emphatically that they want to back Israel to the hilt. You got Trump's people saying they're hand in glove with Jake Sullivan on Ukraine. And they want to believe that they're there for the workers, and the people surrounding Trump are vitriolically against labor. They hate labor. Trump did a Spaces with Elon where he talked about how great it was that Elon just fires people. And no, he wasn't talking about Twitter. He was talking about Tesla, where they tried to unionize. It wasn't about getting rid of the Twitter workers. So why would you believe any of this about these people? It's not like it's hidden. It's not real. Like they're pretty openly hostile to labor, workers' rights. The only way you can square that circle if you're a laborer is to buy into the whole Ayn Rand libertarian bullshit. And that's where the podcast industrial complex comes in. To convince you, let's face it, mostly men, a generation of broken, confused, depressed, very often broke men, that the path to power is to support no rules and no regulations on billionaires.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. These people out here, the people in the previous video,
Those are your people.
I cleared out. Those are your people. Those are your people. Those are the only heroic figures in this entire live stream. Not the cops, obviously, but the workers. Everyone else can eat shit. Donald Trump can eat shit. Jeff Bezos can eat shit. Cenk Uygur can eat shit. Charlie Kirk can eat shit. They can all eat shit. These are the only people who you should be rooting for.
Yep.
In this entire live stream.
And
That's
if
it.
you're rooting against them, you need to depeasantize your mind, because you've been brainwashed to hate your own class. And you can't hate your own class without, in the end, hating yourself.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. And it is just, it's inspiring to see people out there in the snow and in the cold. This is why I say we're not black-pilled. I'm not telling you to have no hope. There's your hope.
No,
right there.
There's your hope. Exactly.
And you talk about the podcast industrial complex. You know, we do these segments knowing full well that they're not going to get the same number of clicks as, oh, look what an ass Cenk Uygur made out of himself, right? But you know, you have to do it anyway. Right. You have to do it anyway.
Well, that's the point of being here.
Yeah, that's the point of being here. Exactly.
That's it. I never understood, you know, when I started directing, when I got out of college, I had already been directing on my own with my own money. I would take my student loans and produce shows with them and hope to make it back. When I graduated, I tried to work as a director for hire, and I hated it. I said, you know, for this, I'll go be a lawyer or something. If I'm going to do something I hate, I'm going to get paid.
Right.
To do this and not believe in what you're doing, to do it for like clicks, man, there's a million things I'd rather do than do that.
Please clap.